So 2 pounds, 3 ounces of summer squash. $14 pounds of zucchini. Okay. What's up, you guys? I'm Natasha. This is the kitchen at Shepherding Pepper's Farm, and today I have a bunch of vegetables from the garden that I need to cook with, essentially. So I harvested a ton of zucchini, as you can see over here, and I've got a basket of summer squash. It's about 2 pounds of summer squash. And with all of the vegetables and the fruits that we grow, I really do try to have it eaten fresh during the week, and then we will preserve the extras. That's my goal. So when the stuff from the garden starts coming in, I need to start making a plan of what we can use it for. I also have a bunch of green beans, more than we could possibly eat. I have some to cook with, and I do have some that are already ready to go into the canner. And I have more that we just harvested. I don't know if I will get to those in this video or if I will make a separate video for canning the green beans. We'll just have to see how it works out. But I figured I would bring with you along, no, that's not the right way to say that. I figured I would bring you along with me today while we start the cooking process of what we're going to do with our zucchinis and our summer squash. You can see in the background, we are adding a spice rack to this wall over here. So you'll probably see Seth in the background painting or doing things, and then the kids are at the table. It's a real house. It's a real kitchen. It can get really noisy. This is my real life. So you're just going to enjoy the journey with me. Also, I have an entire series planned out on doing teas. That'll be a fun series. Stay tuned for that. And we have seeds for sale on the website right now. Keep in mind, it is a small seed operation. We only have seeds that are available from our garden in excess because we save a lot of them. That's kind of what's going on our front. And let's get into the process of cooking with our zucchinis and squashes. All right, so to start this off, I need to shred the zucchini, and I need to section it off into 2 different types. Zucchini that I'm okay with using when it has the liquid in it, and then zucchini that I do not want to have liquid in it. So obviously we'll start with the zucchini that doesn't need to be strained, and we'll let the other sit for a little while before we work with it. So I'm gonna use a food processor. You could do it by hand. That is not my cup of tea. I'm gonna cut the ends off of this. This is golden zucchini, in case anyone is curious. I'm going to throw out these pieces that didn't get shredded all the way. I'm going to take a bowl and a cheesecloth, set that in there. If there are any big pieces like this, I'll remove that. We don't want that. And that can go right in there. And we're going to keep going. So what I'm gonna do to help strain this a little bit quicker is I'm gonna take the colander, I'm gonna take the zucchini that we have in here, transfer it over. It's already leaking juice everywhere. Empty this out and clean up my mess. And then I am going to set this off to the side and let it drain for a while. I'm also going to go ahead and preheat the oven to 425. I am going to be doubling this recipe, so I added 2 more cups of flour, but I will list to you the normal standard recipe. We're going to add in a teaspoon of baking powder. We're going to use half a teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon and a half of ground up cinnamon, 1/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/2 cup of granulated white sugar, a 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar, and then I'm just going to mix it all together. Then you're going to add in 1/2 cup of oil, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 2 eggs, and about 2 tablespoons worth of milk. I'm going to go ahead and mix this up in the KitchenAid mixer, and then we will add our zucchini once this is all mixed together, or at least roughly mixed. I'm going to use a wider attachment just so nothing gets caught in it. A cup and 3/4 of zucchini. Again, this is still wet zucchini, so. Anytime the oven is on, it gets warm in the kitchen. All right, so you want to help me make muffins, little man?
Can I look that?
Maybe when we're all done. Natty, did you want to help too? Do you want to help too? And you'll take your cup and you'll put this much in your thing right there. Okay?
Because then it will rise up.
Yes, and you don't want it to overrise, so. All right, while they are helping and my other ones are arguing, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna prep some garlic bread because I want to eat garlic bread. So this is a loaf of bread that we made on Saturday. We made this on Saturday because I had extra dough. It's been hanging out in my refrigerator. So I'm gonna bake these at 425 for 5 minutes, and I'm gonna lower this to 350 for about 20 minutes. Good. I'm gonna take a stick of butter. We're gonna melt this on the stove, and then we will add our cloves of garlic into it. We want an entire head of garlic, and we want to heat it in the butter until it is able to be mashed with a fork, really tender. So I just transferred the remainder of our muffin mix into this bowl, so that way we can continue with the cooking process. So I'm basically just gonna set this off to the side, and we are going to get started on our zucchini bread. So My question is this. Do you want chocolate chip peanut butter zucchini bread?
Chocolate.
Or double chocolate zucchini bread?
Double chocolate.
Peanut butter.
Okay, we'll do peanut butter first, and then if we have extra, we'll do the double chocolate one. Okay. A house divided cannot stand. Children, get it together. Just like everything, I double the recipe because we have 7 people in my family. So if I have enough to make some and then freeze some, that's ideal for me. So I'm going to list you the single recipe, but if you see me adding more ingredients than meets the eye, it's because I double the recipe. Also, because we just had zucchini muffin mix in here, I'm not going to wash this. I'm just going to continue this and try to streamline my process and not slow myself down or anything like that. So we are going to add into this a cup. We're going to add into this 2 cups of flour. Oh, it's okay. So don't you ever talk about my sneezes again. God bless you and your household. I may sneeze like a mouse, but you had a whole exorcism happen.
Yeah.
Huh. Are you all right? Can I do anything for you?
I will survive.
Okay, good. Half a teaspoon of baking soda. Half a teaspoon of salt. A teaspoon of ground up cinnamon. Those are our dry ingredients, so we're going to give this a mix. Some of it will stick because we didn't rinse this out. We're going to add in 2 eggs. Yay! A teaspoon of vanilla extract. 1/3 of a cup of honey. Oh, I guess I forgot the brown sugar. I didn't do that. So 2/3 of a cup of brown sugar. And 1/3 of a cup of milk. As well as 1/2 cup of creamy peanut butter. I also need a 1.5 cups of our shredded zucchini. Now I do let this just sit on a towel, but you could just not do that at all. But you don't have to blot it or strain it really hardcore or anything like that. So 1.5 cups. Alrighty. We're gonna mix this up. When they cool, they're not cool yet. So we have our butter, it's melted. We're going to add in our head of garlic to this. We're gonna let that cook till it's fork tender. All right, so something that I like to do when making breads, just to make it easier for cleanup and things like that, is to get some parchment paper out in a bowl of water. And I want a piece that's large enough to go inside of the meatloaf pans, because that is what I use for bread. I'm going to crumple this and stick it in the water and let it sit for a little while, just a couple of minutes or so to soften up. And then after it's nice and soft, it'll be easy to put this in my pans, and my pans won't have to get disgusting when we're making our bread. Just like that. Oh, the chocolate chips. I completely forgot. My bad. My recommendation is to just add as many chocolate chips as it makes your heart happy to do so. I'm going to go ahead and bake this at 425 for about 20-25 minutes, and we'll check on it. I'm going to add into this a teaspoon of dried parsley and about half a teaspoon of dried chives, a cup of Parmesan, about a tablespoon of lemon juice. We're going to mix this all together. Well, there's a big thing of it right there. So. Right. And then I added just enough olive oil so that way this was spreadable. The bread that we made, and we're just going to put this on here. There's no reason not to be generous with this. I might get some big garlic pieces, which is great. I will line up for those. Because it is around lunchtime, I'm going to add some protein onto this. I'm going to add a few ham slices onto this. We'll pop this in the oven and roast this. It can go in at the same time as our zucchini bread, right at 425. So I'm just going to take a couple of pieces of Black Forest ham. Just to give these a little bit of protein, because lunchtime. Plus, I think it looks really pretty. I'm just going to elevate it a little bit. We're going to pop this in the oven. Those will only need about 5 to 7 minutes. When they come out, we'll top it with some salt and it'll be excellent. Instant replay.
ZUCCHINI.
Voila. A little bit of salt. And Seth will be our taste tester as soon as it's cool enough for him to do so.
I'm here to serve.
Good. You should be. It's a noble role. Someone has to do it. Don't let that burn you.
I volunteer to serve.
All right, we're going to do our double chocolate zucchini bread next. 1 cup of flour. Half a cup of cocoa powder. Fourth of a teaspoon of salt. Half a teaspoon of espresso powder. 3/4 cup of chocolate chips. Great job. And 2/3 a cup of white granulated sugar. Okay, go ahead and add that one.
It's snow falling.
And give us a quick mix so all of my dry ingredients are intermingled. Then we're going to add 1/4 cup of oil or butter, your choice. A teaspoon of vanilla extract. 2 eggs. You can have a piece of this. Yeah. It's garlic bread with ham. That's tasty.
Magnifico.
I'm gonna make more of that. I like food.
Yeah, Landon keeps calling it bikini bread, but it is
Bikini bread? Okay, that's my favorite thing I've ever heard in life. Bikini bread.
You don't want this bikini bread, man. No.
Hey, what are you doing with that?
Bikini muffins. I love it so much.
There's a sticker.
You're a stinker. I mean, sticker.
Thank you.
No, I mean you're a stinker. You're our stinker.
What is
Have-
this sticking?
Mm.
They have me open up.
And then a third of a cup
Yeah, man.
of
This box.
vanilla yogurt.
I know what that's like.
I don't want to vanilla.
Then I'm gonna add in a cup and a half of zucchini, and we will mix this up.
I have another one of these.
Yeah.
Can I add that one?
Try this piece right here.
Mommy, are we playing with this thing on my head?
Wow, that's amazing. Yay!
This is amazing.
I'm so glad you like
It's the
it.
best piece of bread ever.
That's done. Okay, so I realized I didn't have my mic on. We're gonna be making Parmesan herb biscuits, and I just put in a half a cup of Parmesan cheese and 2.5 cups of flour. Teaspoon of salt,
So people.
and then we're gonna use 2 teaspoons of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, teaspoon of garlic powder,
So that has to.
teaspoon of parsley, with a teaspoon of black pepper. We're gonna mix this all together. Shredded up butter, I didn't say it because there was noise happening in the background. You want a half a cup of shredded up butter, so 1 stick. Since I doubled the recipe, I used 2. I'm just gonna mix this in here. This is not something that you need to be perfect at. They are biscuits. And then you need a cup of milk. And a cup and 1/4 of blotted zucchini. Children, do you want to try the double chocolate? Where'd Layla go?
Double chocolate.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's really good.
Do you want to try the double chocolate, Lolly?
So good.
Okay, good.
I have this.
Yeah, if you want it, go for it.
That is so good.
Yay. Woot, woot, woot.
Wow.
Melted stick of butter. Teaspoon garlic powder. Onion powder. Half a teaspoon of thyme. Quarter teaspoon of black pepper. Teaspoon of salt. Take the biscuits right here. And I'm just gonna drizzle a little bit on the top of this.
Split a tiny bit of biscuit. Oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I love this so much.
That's tasty.
That's so good. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
Taste the biscuit.
That's a delicious sponge.
All right, the biscuits were a win. So now we're going to start working on our quiche. And to do that, we need a pretty basic pie crust recipe, nothing extreme. You can see I have my sweater again. AC comes on and then I get cold, but the oven is on and then I get warm. So it's a whole big thing. I'm sure other moms out there can relate. So to do this, I'm gonna get this out of the way and we're gonna start with some flour. I like to do pie crust in the food processor. It's just easier that way. I'm gonna do 3 cups of flour, a teaspoon of salt. I'm gonna give this a really quick mix and then we're gonna shred up some butter. I have 2 different ways that I will make pie crust, by either melting the butter and pouring it in to create little flour butter balls, but sometimes I'll freeze the butter too and then shred it and then mix it in. It just depends on if I had butter in the freezer or not. Which makes sense when you are Jewish. I'm gonna put this flour back in here. About a stick of shredded butter, and then we need some ice water. And then I'm gonna add some ice water into this a few tablespoons at a time until it forms a dough, essentially. All right, so now we are going to make some quiches. So this is the same container that we used to make pie crust with. So I'm gonna give this a quick rinse, and then I'm gonna start this off by mixing 6 eggs in the food processor. I'm gonna add in a cup of milk, a teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of garlic, teaspoon of onion powder, 1/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper. Now my version of a handful is about 1/2 cup because I've got tiny hands. So about a handful of cheese. That's what I use because Seth doesn't like melted cheese, but he can handle the equivalent of what's on pepperoni pizza. So I typically try to shoot for that or what's underneath that. And I also try to stick to mozzarella. So that's what this is. And then I'm going to add in a handful of diced white onions. I'm actually probably going to put in a handful and a half. About a cup of kielbasas, because why not? We're going to mix this up in the food processor and then put this into the quiche. Now, I don't have an exceptional number of pie pans. I will buy the foil ones, which you guys have seen, that are more disposable, but I actually will reuse them a couple of times if I can get away with it. I have 1 glass pie pan. I have a brownie pan, and I've got 2 cake pans. So I'm going to use all of those to make quiches. And they're kind of like deep dish quiche because we have a really big family. There are 7 of us. And when we have quiche for dinner, there's veggies in it. Like, I'm going to add zucchini to this. And I just, instead of making 2, so I could either use, I would have to make 2 quiches of this oil pan size, which is pretty shallow. It's only 1 inch. Or I can make a bigger quiche with like the cake pan, pie pan, and then I typically only have to use 1. So now that this is mixed, I'm going to add about a cup of zucchini into this and see how I feel about it. And this minced up the kielbasa too, which is fine. The zucchini on the top here is definitely nice and dry. Added 2 cups. And I intend to fill all of these up. All right, so it's about the end of the day now. It's about 5 o'clock. We're gonna eat these quiches very soon, and I'm kind of worn out. I'm a little bit tired at this point. Seth and I have been going out and working out on the fence in the mornings and then doing all the other things during the day. So even though I didn't finish the zucchini, I will finish it tomorrow. So it may be added onto this video, or maybe I'll do another video with it. Who knows what I'm gonna do? I don't even know what I'm gonna do. It's a wild, wacky world. And mostly this is a pep talk to myself that it's okay to stop doing the zucchini stuff, even though I didn't finish it, because it's the end of the day and I'm tired. However, I did make 75 pie crusts. Why? I don't know. If I had not done that, maybe I would have finished the zucchini stuff. I literally made all the pie crusts. I made 1, 2. I did. I made all the pie crusts. And I've been wanting to make some pumpkin pies for a little while because we still have a ton of canned pumpkin in our pantry. I am a firm believer that pumpkin pie is an acceptable breakfast food. 1, it contains a vegetable. 2, most breakfast foods have some sort of sugar in them anyways. Cereal, sugar. Oatmeal, sugar. Everything is sugar. So I don't see anything wrong with pumpkin pie being for breakfast. I think it's completely acceptable. Milk, eggs, sugar, a vegetable. We have all the main food groups. So, oh, the recipe is on the website. I didn't even remember what it was. I had to go onto my own website and look up what my recipe was, because once I had nailed it down, it was absolutely perfect, and I didn't want to go get everything out of the big book of my recipes. So I will be doing that in the background if you want to make pumpkin pie too. You just want to say hi? Yes, my pretty, pretty, fluffy baby. Gosh, how much do you weigh now, dude? Like, way more than like Landon. Have you felt him?
Yes.
He's heavy.
Hefty, hefty, hefty.
No, you can't be on the counter. But you can't be on the counter because I'm cooking right now. Gosh, you get cat hair all over me. Ready? No, you gotta get down. I can't hold you all day. You're not actually a baby, Aslan.
Oh my gosh.
You got cat hair all over my face, bro. Yeah. Yeah. He like is the king of shedding. No counter for you. He's like, yes, counter for me. I don't care what you say. Mama? Quiche.
They were doing.
Alright, guys, that's gonna wrap up this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.